Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Scorpio sun signs, or if you have significant Scorpio placements in your chart and are needing a masculine energy to work with or balance within yourself, then this reading is for you. So Scorpio, let's get started with your reading. At the bottom of the deck for the overall context, we have the Self, the Mask, and the Healer. And then the first card that you have out in your actual spread is the Shaman card, which I feel like is talking about with the Self and the Mask. That's an interesting combination. And you also have this Aletheia card at the bottom, which talks about truth, right? That truth can sometimes be a double-edged sword is what's coming through here. But we have here the Self and the Mask. And so if this Mask card often talks about like exploring a different aspect of self by either like temporarily putting on a mask or like exploring a different role or putting on a different identity kind of energy in order to explore some other aspect of self, because this sort of anonymity gives us an opportunity perhaps to allow some other aspect of self to come through this is what's coming through here. I feel like it's having a very healing effect on you. So whatever it is that you're doing here with the mask, there is kind of like, again, with the Aletheia, there's this sort of energy here of like, in perhaps like there's something that you're exploring or keeping to yourself is kind of how it's coming through. Because this is a Scorpio reading, the energy of Scorpio does come in with this bit of mystery, right? There's perhaps some aspect of yourself that you're keeping hidden or keeping to yourself in order to heal it, or in order to explore a different aspect of yourself in some way. That I feel like is having a very healing effect. Anyways, Scorpio, that's the overall context. I feel like you are aligning with something though, because you have here the Two of Wands. I feel like you're aligning with some sort of forward path, right? You have a lot of forward momentum in your reading today, but there is this energy here of like, there's something from the past that's pulling on you, is how it's coming through here. The Shaman card is the first card in your spread, where I feel like I actually was like drawn very much to this diamond here, where it's like, and the last card in your spread is this Eros card, which we will get to, but again, there's the diamond, right? I feel like that's perhaps your goal. And it's kind of like there's something here from the past that is pulling on you. Either it has some sort of relevance in like what it is that you're moving forward with. You also have here the ring at the bottom of the deck, and just because with the diamond, it's just coming through as being like some sort of new commitment that you're pursuing, whether or not that's romantic or business. It may actually be business or work related, because the first card you have here is the Desk, which says pay attention to your work. The Shaman talks about sort of like the connection between spiritual and physical, right? There's some sort of like link being made, perhaps like through your work. So this may actually come as like some sort of revelation or understanding or illumination perhaps that you're having about, or like while you're at work. It's almost like when you're focused on some other task, some sort of like either realization from the past or like solution to a problem maybe sort of like comes in as an epiphany, is kind of how it's coming through. Or if it's not an epiphany, it's like this is the solution to perhaps the problem or something like that. I feel like though it's like the energy that I'm getting is that you're moving on, or you're moving forward towards some sort of goal here, but in the process it's like there's something that's being like left behind, is kind of how it's coming through here with the Six of Swords. Right, with the Six of Swords, this feels kind of like, normally the Six of Swords talks about like moving into calmer waters, right? Like becoming more peaceful in your thoughts about a certain circumstance. It's interesting though, because it's kind of coming through with this energy of like, whatever it is you're leaving behind is feeling kind of like, maybe you haven't quite gotten peace about this situation yet. Maybe it kind of looks like a mess here with the Six Swords sort of scattered. And it's really interesting because the next card to come out is the Seven of Swords, where it's like there's all the swords were arranged in a certain way, but there was like something hidden about that situation that you're leaving behind, is kind of how it's feeling. There's something hidden about a past situation. I don't know how past this is for you, but it's like, now that you're moving forward, something about this past situation is being revealed, is kind of how that is coming through. Like something that either you didn't see while you were in it, or it's like now that you're out of it, it's like this, you can maybe see this more clearly, is kind of how it's coming through. I don't want to necessarily say that this is a deceptive energy. It's just something that was like hidden for whatever reason. I don't know what reason that is, but it feels like as you're moving past it, or as you're moving, I guess past it, or moving forward, some sort of like understanding about that past situation is like coming to you in some way. Like some sort of understanding or realization. It's really interesting. So the next card here is the Agape card, which it talks about unconditional love. Today, sometimes this card comes through as being like, if you're familiar with like grade 10 biology, I think it is. It's like cells separating, like mitosis, where it's like, there's cells separating. So I feel like you are separating from something. It kind of feels like, so it feels like you are aligning with something, Scorpio, right? With this Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck, that has to do with like either like your purpose or something that's like meant for you or whatever. It kind of feels like, I talked about this in the last pick a card, but it feels like aligning with something that's individualized to you, right? Something that's like part of your independent goals or whatever it is. But at the same time, in pursuing those dreams or those goals, it kind of takes you away from either a group. That's sort of how it's coming through. Like you're separating from a group in order to pursue this dream of yours or whatever it is that you're moving towards. And it's interesting because on both sides, on either side of the Agape card was the Sun and the Club, right? Which is, the Sun says happiness and well-being. This being a Scorpio Sun reading, I feel like this is your energy, right? Like you're choosing something that makes you happy and that makes you feel good, that's good for your well-being. And in the process, leaving behind the Club, which says someone will try to make you do something against your will. So it's kind of coming through as being like sort of like a club being the other meaning of club, which is kind of like a group of people that come together for a particular purpose, right? Like that kind of club. Like maybe you're leaving a club because there were perhaps like rules or like things that were being imposed on you that were interfering with something that you desire, right? It's especially because it's coming out with this sort of Seven of Swords, like some sort of hidden motive or It's kind it's kind of coming through this example. I know that this is very extreme, but it kind of feels like something like, and it doesn't have to be like this, it's just like the energy of the club that's coming through, where it's like they're like the celebrity Tom Cruise, when he was part of that religious group that prevented him from like seeing his own family members in order to be part of the club. It was something like that, right? Like that's sort of how it's feeling. And it's kind of like when you get out of that situation, you see how kind of like messed up that is. I don't know. Anyways, I feel like you're getting some sort of realization about this Scorpio, because it's kind of like you're in this energy with the happiness and well-being with the Sun card. And it's very interesting. Like I wanted to get more information about this Seven of Swords, and then there were 3 animal cards that came out. This is you, very clearly the whale. The whale to me is a very Scorpio energy, right? Like capable of diving really deep. I feel like you have you have access to a lot of information here within this sort of watery element is how I'm going to phrase it. And then there's this energy coming out with the lizard and the gazelle, because I'm seeing this lizard as being sort of like this is what you're separating from, is kind of how I'm seeing this. This lizard here is the energy that you're separating from, which is coming through as being like, the lizard here doesn't, I always talk about this one as being like not having enough water to drink. And it's kind of like, this is you, Scorpio, taking your water and leaving is what this is feeling like to me, right? Like taking your happiness and well-being, your sense of self, and going some other direction. It is looking to me like, especially with this combination of cards, where it's this energy here is somehow preventing this gazelle from following you, is how it's kind of coming through. I don't know who this gazelle is to you. It kind of feels like somebody, like, so if we want to phrase it like, say you're leaving a workplace, for example, just because the desk card came out. Say you're leaving a workplace, or you're leaving whatever. This would be like a coworker, for example, or a colleague, or whatever, a friend that you worked with. And this boss is kind of preventing them from leaving. Either they still have some sort of contract, or it's kind of just like you're moving on, Scorpio. This one here is still there, is what I'm feeling with this. And the cards that were coming out to describe this dynamic, so you had the 3 of Wands and the 3 of Swords, where it's kind of like, and the 3 of Swords came out in reverse as well. This 3 of Swords I talk about as being sort of messy entanglements, but it's interesting that it came out with the 3 of Wands, because this card talks about like vision, being able to see. But it's really interesting, Scorpio, because it kind of feels like, so it could have been at a certain point there was a shared vision with this group, right? Like you perhaps like there was some sort of sense of belonging, perhaps, especially because it's coming out with a club, right? Like a group. You have a shared interest, or whatever that is. But it feels like for you, Scorpio, because you, like, this situation is what you're leaving behind. It's like, and I want to talk about this, this 3 of Wands here, because I feel like this situation is talking about, like, perhaps like a shared goal, or like something that you were all perhaps working towards. But the thing about this card of like perhaps why it wasn't satisfying to you, Scorpio, is that it feels almost like a puddle, right? Like this is looking to me like a puddle where you are this Scorpio, the whale, it's like keeping a whale in marine land. That's kind of the energy that's coming through here. And perhaps that wasn't satisfying to you, right? There's something about like, anyways, it doesn't matter. That's what you're leaving behind. I feel like this one here, the gazelle, is perhaps struggling a bit, is kind of how it's feeling. It feels kind of like maybe they're in an energy of stress of some sort. Perhaps it's also kind of like it feels like, whether or not this is related to you or not, they're in a period of not well-being is kind of how it's coming through here, right? They're not feeling well about the situation, or just in general, or something else in their life. I have no idea if this is related to you or not. That's just how their energy is coming through to me. But anyways, Scorpio, the next cards out that you have, so you have the Vision card, which to me is talking about, like, it's first of all, just in contrast to these, because it feels like this Vision card, the difference between these two Vision cards is that this one, the vision is foggy, or it's like, it's not detailed. There's no details. There's no specifics. It's kind of just like there's perhaps just like a general feeling, right? It's kind of like you and this group work together to, I don't know, create just like a general feel of like what it is that you wanted to create together. Perhaps it's kind of like, you know how like groups of friends will say, oh, let's go on vacation together, but then like there's never any plans that are made because it kind of depends on one person to do that. I feel like for you, Scorpio, it's kind of like, I feel like you're doing this on your own now. It's kind of how this is feeling. Like you're pursuing some sort of either vision. It actually feels like you're not doing this on your own, though. That's the thing. It feels like you're perhaps like choosing a specific partnership over this club, right? Because it's kind of like, or like choosing, I don't know, like a more focused version of what it was that you were working on in this group. It feels like a more focused version. There's details here, right? There's actual like plans being made within this new vision that you have, perhaps with a specific person, just because you have Two of Wands here and the Two of Cups, which is coming out later. But anyways, it feels like it's like your all your energy, or at least like most of your energy, is focused on this vision, this new purpose or dream or goal that you're working towards. It feels like, though, that there is kind of like this energy that's like pulling on you from the past, coming from whoever this gazelle energy is. But anyways, they might have a fire moon, is kind of how this is coming through. They might have a fire moon sign. Anyways, okay. And then you have here the ladder, which is coming out with the Nine of Wands. This Nine of Wands has been coming up a lot, and I have been talking about it as being sort of a ladder, moving you out of a place of difficulty towards success, right? So you are climbing towards success, Scorpio. I want to remind you of that, just because I feel like whatever this energy is kind of pulling on you to the point where it's almost like you want to turn back, or not quite turn back, but somehow assist this person out of their difficulty, is kind of how it's feeling to me. But the energy of this is kind of like, just be cautious of that, because it's kind of looking to me like this is an escalator, right? It's a staircase, but it's an escalator, meaning it just moves up. So if you try and go down, if you if you try and go down an escalator that's going up, you're just going to stay in one place, right? That's kind of the energy that's coming through here. So just keep going up. I feel like part of this energy here that's like, I feel like the guidance that I would have for this one, the gazelle, whoever they are, is that they can also make this change. I feel like they can also step onto this ladder with you. It's kind of just like they have to deal with whatever this energy is first, this lizard. I don't know who that is. It's kind of like, I feel like maybe you have somehow shown them the way out of this, but it's kind of up to them in order to actually take the steps to follow you, is kind of how this is feeling. If you move down an escalator that's moving up, you're just going to keep yourself from moving forward. So just keep that in mind, Scorpio. I'm not trying to sound callous, but it's kind of like, that's just what I'm seeing here. So anyways, for you, Scorpio, there's something else that you should keep in mind here with the what it is you're moving towards, because it could be that you're currently on this escalator, but you are sort of looking back at something, which may be necessary. As I was saying here with the Seven of Swords, there's perhaps some sort of truth that you need still with the shaman that you're needing to integrate in some way, like to like gain that piece of information or something like that, because you do have here the Shadow card coming out and the Eros, which is talking about passion. But this card, as I was reading through it, the description of it, it was highlighting to me this sort of energy of uniting with something that's other than you. Because I feel like that may be kind of activating a shadow aspect, because there may be something that's like, perhaps it's related to this past situation, right? Where it's like this past situation, whatever it is, perhaps felt like this vision or this new goal that you're dreaming of, but it's like this past situation ended up being sort of like a messy entanglement, and that might be something that you need to clear, because it is kind of, or like get, and this information might be providing the key to how to clear that energy, is kind of how it's coming through here, because you do have here the cobweb and the angel. So cobweb says protected from negative forces beyond your control, and the angel, which talks about spiritual guidance and protection from harm, that this new path that you're working on or working towards is protected. And I feel like it's trying to remind you here with the Shadow and the Eros card of like, I feel like if this past situation is pulling on you, or you're being reminded of it in some way, or it's like something that you've moved on from, but you're either getting reminders of it, or you can feel the energy in your space somehow, it's coming up again in order for you to clear it. It's like having to do with something like perhaps like desire, but perhaps in the past it was something like coming through with like a shadow aspect of desire, which could be like obsession or addiction or something like that. So it could be like that's the energy that you're having to clear, especially because you have here the vulture, right, which talks about clearing out toxins of whatever kind. I feel like this is, again, looking back at the past, right? It's like perhaps gaining some sort of new perspective about this past energy, whatever that is, and then clearing out whatever it was that drove you to seek out this energy in the first place, right? Because it's kind of like, just speaking from experience, things like addiction and all of that, it's not necessarily the substance that causes the addiction, right? It's like how that substance makes you feel. With the three of wands, it's a feeling. It's the true cause or the true root of the sort of like, I guess, desire or whatever. It's like that's sort of the thing that you're having to integrate is kind of how it's coming through with. Okay. So that's sort of what it is that perhaps you're being asked to focus on. You have here the Two of Pentacles, which I really love because this talks about like a delicate balance, right? There's sort of like this delicate balance between what it is that you're like, I want to say that it's like how far you go back into the past or how far you, how much you reach out to this past energy that's struggling is kind of how it's coming through. Because this one's holding a candle, which is kind of showing me like there is perhaps a desire to help this one. But it's like if you go back into that space, there's a reason why you were prompted to leave it, right? Because you're being protected from harm. So it's like, don't move down the escalator. It's like you have to show them how, you have to show this one to get out of the whatever entanglement that they're in. It's a delicate balance. This one's coming through here. So I'm gonna leave it there, Scorpio. I feel like there is this sort of like, there's these three to end it here. You have the Elk, the Two of Cups, and the Fool, which I feel like this is your new beginning, right? There's this new beginning. I feel like you are being sort of pulled on by the past, but it's kind of like whatever this new beginning is, perhaps with a partnership of some sort, because you do have 3-2 cards in your reading today, right? Like you have 2-2-2. It's like whatever this partnership is a fresh start for you. So keep that in mind. It's kind of like there's something that has to be cleared or integrated from the past about something that you desired at one point, I want to say, that is going to be reset once you enter this partnership. So Scorpio, I'm going to end it there. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. Thank you so much. It helps a lot, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.